Welcome to Command Combat, everybody. We are fighting around the world using Memoir 44. There are 10 games, and we're keeping score between the Axis and the Allies. We're on the last game, and the score is Axis 5, Allies 4. Either this game will end with an Axis victory, or we will have a tiebreaker. Our last battle will take place in North Africa, with the British versus the Italians and the Germans. This is the flanking maneuver at Hakeim. Following on the successes of Operation Crusader, the British 8th Army had driven Rommel's forces out of Cyrenaica before overstretching its own supply lines again. 8th Army had then settled along the Gaza line in the desert, west of Tobruk, in a series of brigade-strength occupied boxes protected by minefields and wire. The southernmost tip of the line was the fortified box at Hakeim, held by the 1st Free French Brigade of General Pierre-Marie Koenig. At midday on May 26, Rommel launched a feint frontal attack on the central positions of the Gazala line, using small elements of the 20th Motorized Corps and truck-mounted propellers to blow dust and reinforce the deception, before pulling all his armored elements back under cover of darkness. His real objective? A daring flank maneuver to neutralize the Hakeim box at the southern tip of the line, using the enemy's own minefields to protect his flank and rear. The stage is set. The battle lines are drawn. The Germans are trying to break through the exit markers and get points for each unit that does so. The Germans have 2 stormtrooper units and 1 engineer unit. The Italians are trying to take 2 bunkers, but the British are covering both of them with an anti-tank unit, and they're behind a line of mines. The others are dug in between the hills. The first side to 5 points wins the game, and possibly the tournament. With all that established, let's get started. The Italians open the fight with orders direct from HQ. They push up their armor along with the German engineers, and they fire into the French bunker. The French fire back with their anti-tank gun, taking out one of the Italian tanks. The German engineers clear a minefield as the artillery rains down on a British position. The French fire and scare away the engineers and the armor that was a little too close. The Italian armor opens up along the line, whittling the French in the bunker down to 1 stand. The British try to take out the engineers with their artillery, but can't get ranged in. The Italians drive through the gap in the minefield, right into the face of the anti-tank unit. The French are pushed back into the oasis, and then overrun and nearly destroyed, but they have 1 stand left, the one with the Piat. It fires back in retaliation and pushes back the tanks. The unit then rallies and rushes forward with its Piat and fires into the tanks, destroying one of them and causing them to retreat in the minefield. Unfortunately, they don't hit any of the mines as they continue on. Then the AT unit leaps back into the relative safety of the oasis. The Italians continue their assault with a second wave of tanks, which roll over the French defenders. Others fire from a distance while the infantry runs up behind them to flow through the breach. The French stand firm and fire at the tank's sides, destroying the unit. The other bunker and the artillery fire at the breakthrough unit and take out most of it. The score is now tied at 1 point each. The Germans continue their bombardment on the opposite side, slowly whittling away the British gun line. The French counterattack, taking out the German armor at the oasis. It then turns on their retreating armor and takes it out as well. The infamous British artillery is pulling all the weight, bringing them to 3 points to the Italian and German 1. The German artillery finally takes out one of the British units, and their armor begins picking away at the infantry trenches. The British artillery finally misses, but the French infantry comes out of their cover and fires at the engineers, finishing them off. It was a big risk, but it brings them up to 4 points. The Luftwaffe comes in and strafes the British trenches, whittling them down and taking out another unit. The British pull up their armor from the rear and fire at the stormtroopers, severely wounding the unit. Their covering armor fires back, causing the British armor to retreat to the cover behind the hill. The British bring up their heavy artillery guns and fire at the stormtroopers at the edge of the board. The massive explosions are everywhere, and they demolish the remainder of the unit. The battle ends with the British and French victory of 5-2. And so the tournament comes to a draw, 5 to the Axis, 5 to the Allies. That is an evenly matched campaign, and it's like so many soccer games which conclude without a winner. But this is America. We don't like ties, and we need a winner. So we're going to go one more game to determine who rules the world. And so, the tiebreaker will be next. We shall see who will win, the Axis or the Allies. Join us next time as we conclude our
Making movies, making music, and fighting around the world.
Happy gaming, everybody.